Hello everyone and welcome to Trending in My Life, and this week January Blues. So here we are on the Sunday before going back to work after being off for that lovely Christmas break, and everyone's a little bit gloomy and a little bit thinking, oh God, I don't want to go back to work tomorrow. I don't want to have to get up early and catch the bus or the train, and if you're like me, you don't want to trudge along icy, snowy streets. I promise you, by the time you get to work, you will be so glad to get in from the cold that you'll quite like being there. That will be a positive. That's the way to put it, positive spin on it. Yeah, I don't want to be here, but at least it's warmer than outside. So look at it that way. So yeah, it's that time of year when finally, it's time to go back to work. You've had Christmas, you've had New Year, you've had a little bit of sales shopping. You may have been having snowball fights outside with your friends. And it depends what part of the country you're in. I'm in South London and we definitely have had snow, and we're left with ice that just isn't going away and hasn't been for 3 days because the temperature isn't going up. Even when the sun goes out, it really doesn't have any strength to melt it. So we're kind of stuck with it. So it's lacing on those boots with those good treads underneath that'll give you some grip as you go along the path, and be very careful where you're walking. Take it slowly, take it easy. At this time of year when we have this kind of weather, it's no good trying to rush into work even if you're a little bit late. It's better to take your time and get there safely than have an accident on the way. So you take good care of yourself. Now, this is also the start of everybody's New Year resolutions, trying to get fit, trying to get healthy, maybe training for a new career. You could have made some decisions over the long Christmas break about what you want to do with your life, things that would make you look forward to a future, even if you had to do a few steps and work a bit towards a qualification to get there, or to train to do something you've never done before. But maybe you've made one of those life-changing decisions on the way. You might have proposed to someone at Christmas. You might now be engaged and planning a wedding, and that's a big change in your focus. And that's, you might be planning a spring wedding and working towards that, and there's lots of family getting involved and lots of components that make up the whole wedding, the flowers, the venue, blah blah blah. And the first one may be the venue, and you may be starting to visit places in January to choose where you'd like to get married. So it's a time of year of new beginnings, of lots of changes. And of course, the changes that we make to ourselves in getting fit and healthy. You might be on a diet or just changing your way of eating. That's what I've been doing. I didn't decide to go on a diet. I do need to lose some weight because I'm at a weight that's unhealthy for my age and size, because I'm only 5'2.5". And of course we all overindulge over Christmas, so I'm getting into that. But I set an intention to lose 8 pounds before February, because I thought that was manageable, 2.5, 3 pounds a week. And it's much better than for me to say to myself, I know the kind of person that I am, if I started denying myself loads of things and saying, you can't have this, you can't have that, you can only have this, you can only have that, then I'd very quickly come off the diet, break the diet, whatever. And a lot of people do. It's one of those things about joining the gym, isn't it? You can join the gym with gung-ho spirit in January, and then there's a huge dropout rate by about halfway through February, unfortunately. I mean, that's why the gyms do special offers, and the diet programs tend to put special offers on. And it always is nice to have some of those diet programs are online, and you have the support of a community, be able to chat with other people about what they're going through and how difficult they're finding it. And that kind of support, even if you don't go to a venue to do that, can help people stay on track and stay focused. Like I say, I am trying to basically introduce a lot more vegetables to my diet. There was a time when I only ate vegetables, and I found it not vegetarian so much that I wasn't doing that. I was looking at the lectins in things and trying to eat lectin free. And I found that very easy to lose weight when I was doing that. And I wasn't particularly losing weight at the time. I was trying to eat differently. So yeah, I find that if I focus on small manageable goals, like I'm only setting an intention, not a goal, for this month. And I think if I can achieve that, it will inspire me to do it the next month. And then gradually I will take the weight off. I don't try and do it all at once. Fasting I've tried before, and it is helpful sometimes, but for me, I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm off to work at 5:30 and I arrive at work at 8 o'clock. So I've almost lived half a day before I even start work. And I find it difficult to go out in the cold and face the journey, which is a long journey, without eating anything. So I tend to have something small before I go out, and then I can have something when I get there as well, so that it's, because it's 2 hours to get there, so I'm going to be hungry by the time I get there. But yeah, that seems to work for me rather than not having anything at all. I am a bit of a snacker in the evenings, and I don't get home till I leave work at 3:30 because I start so early, and I don't get home till 5:30, so I can't eat earlier than that, but I do tend to eat when I come in, and then without fail, about 7 o'clock I'll be snacking, and it's trying to not necessarily take that snack away altogether, but put a small healthy snack in there, and then try and stop eating by 8 o'clock. So we'll see how I get on with that, and good luck with you if you're doing the same. Exercising, not so easy outside of the house with the ice and snow around at this time of year. I mean, I have seen gung-ho people in shorts trying to jog along the path, but I mean, it is icy, it is slippy, and it's no good doing that and ended up with a broken leg. I would much rather exercise indoors, watch a few videos and find something that I like, and have a go at those sort of 3 times a week, because I do tend to do plenty of walking, but not those type of things. So yeah, and like I say, it's a time of year when people are a bit down. They don't want to go back to work, and to be fair, I think once you're in the routine, it is quite helpful to get through these cold and dark months. January, February are those depressing times of the year. And yeah, I think it can help you in that respect to have some kind of routine. Also, like heating bills skyrocketed, and if you're not in the house and can put a timer on your heating, that will actually save you a little bit of money, which is helpful. And you're in a office or wherever you work, and they're paying for the heating to keep you warm where you are, which is good. So that's one way of looking at a positive about work. I also think after you've had 2 weeks off, you have to give yourself a break to ease into things. You're not going to hit the ground running. You're going to be a bit like, oh gosh, I've only done 2 hours. I feel like it's time to come home, and you have to break it up and sort of say, well, I'm going to pace myself. I've got a huge backlog to get rid of, and I'll just take it one step at a time. Take the first job that's on your desk, start working on that. Don't go hell for leather trying to get it all done as fast as possible and on to the next job and on to the next job, because it's such a big change from hanging out at home over Christmas, and you'll find it that one more difficult. And to a certain extent, people's expectations, if you do everything really fast, is just that you will always do everything fast, so it's more difficult. I personally tend to take my time doing things more precisely than rushing it, because I don't want to make any mistakes and I have to get back into the routine of doing things, and it's more important to get it done and get it done right than it is to get it done fast. So that's another thing. Quite often on your way to work, you can listen to some music that you like. You could listen to a podcast such as this, but you could listen to a podcast that is it could be teaching you something. It could be just on a topic that you find interesting, but it will take away that sort of, oh, I'm stuck on a train, I'm on a bus, I'm surrounded by people, and I just wish I wasn't here. So you're not, in your mind, you're not, because you're listening to somebody talk to you and you're listening to music that you like. So it helps you get there, and to a certain extent helps you get back as well, because you will do that in the evenings. And again, you have to get used to commuting again, but at least you saved the commute money for the last 2 weeks. That's a positive. It is looking for those little positives as we go throughout day after day, as we make our way through the week and get there to the weekend. And then we have 2 whole days which you will value so much more than you do at the moment, because you've been working, and those weekends you want to make count, with every second doing stuff that you really enjoy, and even if that is lying under your duvet for hours and hours and hours or just binge watching something on Netflix. It's one of those things that you appreciate your weekends more when you've had to work for them, which you basically have. During this month and next month, I will be doing some content that is focused on getting us through these months and keeping ourselves positive and not being too hard on ourselves. I think at this time of year, we see all the negatives about ourselves, oh, I've put on weight, I don't like my hair, I don't like this, I don't like that. Where am I going with my life, blah, blah, blah. And even if you are full of indecision like that and you're not sure of the direction, if you give yourself time to work it out, then you will get there in the end. And you're just perfect the way you are. You can make changes, but you're still perfect the way you are. You're a wonderful person, and you should look in the mirror and tell yourself that every day. Don't see the negatives, see the positives, so that it helps you deal with whatever comes your way during that day. Anyway, if you like this podcast, please like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend, and come back next time. Bye for now.